What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What am I and what am I not allowed to read, Hireling? Maybe we should just start with that. What am I or am I not allowed to try to go through to try to decipher my questions for me? I'm not preaching to anybody. But you got a problem because I use a book that had a symbol on it and somebody who was a bad painter who had a dog that chewed the corner. With this Catholic moon, star, sun, Scientology, wolfhead book, you say that I worship. Because, look at this. Oh, where's Daniel? Right here. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times. That says exactly what you want it to say. That gives you the 69 weeks right there. That don't break it off into what it was originally written as. See, this Bible doesn't agree with the original 1611 Bible. And I'll show you that. Look at this. The reason I like it see, this version is just like the new revised version that we just went over reading the preface to. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to rebuild, to restore and rebuild Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks. And 62 weeks the street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times. So if they wanted to say 69, why did they start out verse 26 and say, after the 62 weeks? See, this version breaks it up into 3 separate time periods. Okay, this is that revised Bible that I just went over the preface with you, so it's a KJV. But it says, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the word to restore and build Jerusalem to the coming of an anointed one, a prince, there shall be 7 weeks. That's your first time period. Then for 62 weeks it shall be built again with squares and moat, but in troubled times. So in 26, if this was after 69 weeks, why would 26 say, and after the 62 weeks, an anointed one shall be cut off and shall have nothing? After 62 weeks starting from when? And they'll say, well, starting after the 7 weeks. Well, when did the 7 weeks start? And what was so significant about the 7 weeks? Why didn't they just say 69? And then Hireling came on and said, Why does Change of Plan keep saying 69, 69, 69? I know why. It is because of this narcissist video that he put up, and it is 69 this and 69 that. He doesn't say. I just put out a video a week ago that says I've been asking him this question since 2020. I got proof. I got emails from 2020 where we're having this same discussion. Only he's given really elusive answers, just like he is now. Only this time he didn't give any answers. He gave it away to Kelly. She came up with an answer of her own. Have you discussed it with her yet, Hireling? Why haven't you discussed it with her yet? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I have no idea. But maybe you should try. Yeah. I like my Scientology book because, yeah, that verse that happened to be in here, even though it's not worded the same, it means the same. The meaning is what you're after, not the words. And it's the same way with your 9, Revelation 9. 9:4. And they were told, right here, then from the smoke came locusts, and then from the smoke came locusts on the earth, and they were given power, like the power of scorpions on the earth. They were told not to harm the grass of the earth, or any green growth, or any tree. Now you're going to have a fit, because it doesn't say any green thing, like your KJV does, right? And then you're going to have a fit because all the other ones, they changed it to any green plant. But to you, a plant means a green reptilian person of some type. And then you say the trees represented the giants. So the grass, the trees, and the green things were all representations of people. And I understand what you're talking about, but that's not what this verse is talking about. Any green growth is vegetation. They were told not to harm the grass of the earth, or any green growth, or any green plant. And then it says, or any tree. And then that'll take you right back to, well, I won't use my Scientology book here. You'll be happy. It'll take you right back to, where did it take me back to? Exodus what? Okay, we're going to go back to Exodus now. We're talking about grass, herbs, which would be the green grass, the vegetation of the field. Well, first, I want to go there, but first I want to go to Genesis. Okay, Genesis 1:11. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, and herb yielding seed, and fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind. So it's talking about grass, bushes, vegetation, blueberry bushes, any type of vegetation. And then you have the bigger ones, which would be the trees. Okay? And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seeds, and his kind, and the trees yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. Then we go over to verse 29. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb and God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree which is in the fruit of ye tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. The vegetation. Every green herb. Okay? Then we're going to get into Exodus and the plagues. We're going to go to Exodus 9:24. So there was hail, and fire mingled with the hail, very grievous, such as there was none like it in all the land of Egypt since it became a nation. And the hail smote throughout all the land of Egypt, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail smote every herb of the field, and brake every tree of the field. So in these two verses, they're talking about all of it. The beasts that were out in the field are going to get hit with the hail. The people that are out in the field are going to get hit with everything that's out in the field is going to get destroyed. Okay? And he divided those people and the beasts from this vegetation, right? It wasn't put together like you said it meant that it was a green reptilian. So I'm going to go to Exodus 10:12. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come up upon the land of Egypt and eat every herb of the land, even all that hail hath left. So whatever was left over that the hail didn't get, locusts were supposed to come up and devour it. 13. And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt, and the Lord brought an east wind upon the land all that day, and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. 14. And the locust went up over all the land of Egypt, and rested in all the coasts of Egypt. Very grievously were they. Before them there were no such locusts as they, neither after them shall be such. For they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened. And they did eat every herb of the land, and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. And there remained not any green thing in the trees, or in the herbs of the field, through all the land of Egypt. So why does it say, and there remained not any green thing in the trees? Are they saying there remained not any green reptilian person in the trees? I don't think so. I understand what you're saying and what you're trying to get across, Hireling, but I don't think that's what they're saying, and I think you're stretching it. I think you're stretching it a lot. A whole bunch. All right, let me go to Revelation. All right, let's go to Revelation 7. Because you have angels that are given the power to kill the sea and the earth and the trees. Okay? And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea. So they had permission to hurt it, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. So this would mean that Hireling is saying, when it says nor the trees, this would be the giants. Because he says the trees were basically the giants of the Old Testament. Okay, now we're going to go over to... Chapter 8, verse 6 and 7. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And a third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. Are those a third of the tall people, and then all of the small people? Because that's what you're saying chapter 9 verse 4 means. And it was commanded to them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their forehead. So they had the power to destroy the vegetation. And that's what this is talking about, vegetation. When it says grass of the earth, nor any green thing. Because the green thing is the same thing that you seen back during the Exodus. For they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened. And they did eat every herb of the land, and the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. And there remained not any green thing in the trees, or the herbs of the field through all the land of Egypt. So I want to know, any green things. You say that in Revelation, that means that it's a reptilian. How does it mean that it's a reptilian here? And I don't have it in front of me, but God has referred to his people as his plant. Oh, as a matter of fact, was it Mark? What did I do with it? Matthew. Oh, right here. Right in front of me. Alright. You're saying that you're mad because these other versions changed it to green plant. Every grass and every green plant. But what does Jesus say here in Matthew 15 verses 10 through 13? And he called the multitude, and said unto them, Hear and understand. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man. Then came his disciples, and said unto him, Knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? But he answered and said, Every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. So what would the big deal have been if they would have said plant? Every green plant. Does that mean that that's the Father's green reptilian in this verse? I know what they're saying. It's a metaphor, every plant. That means every soul that is of the Father's, the ones that are from Lucifer, will be rooted up. I see the connection. But what you're saying, and saying, oh, that Bible is so evil because they changed it, you're wrong, Hireling, because you don't know what you're talking about. You do a lot of proof texting, and you make a lot of things sound really good. But when you break it down, it sounds really bad. Just like you accusing me of Scientology. And then accusing the book right beside it, your book, one I dedicated to you, Hireling, because I care so much about your well-being. Yep, when you see it one more time. May the symbol on the cover of your new KJV Bible enlighten your path forever. So even though these are the words you like, Jesus won't approve of this Bible because it has a symbol on it. You hear yourself, Hireling. You got to study to show yourself approved, not just type some crap into a keyboard and then spit out some niceties. You don't want it to be realized. I get it.
Because you stop digging and I still dig. The thing about the overturning is to not give up until you get to the very end of it. And there's nothing that you can say anymore.
Wouldn't they, Hireling?
And what I believe is that they had to have exactly the right words in their time to be able to decipher.
Why didn't you ever tell anybody about the demonology book that King James released twice prior to the Bible? So why didn't you ever tell anybody about the demonology book that King James released twice prior to the Bible?
There's a bunch of books having to do with the Bible that were released before the King James 1611.
I understand that, Hireling, but this isn't a book about a Bible. This is a book about witchcraft, about how to point out witches, and then how to prosecute the witches. He did that when he was King James VI of Scotland, right before he became King James I of England. And then when he became King James I of England, he conveniently republished this very book. I think it was 1604, I believe. And then they used this very book as a checklist to go down and prosecute women, children, some men as witches, so they could execute them and burn them at the stake. So this wasn't about the Bible, although it did turn out to where he used the Bible in order to be able to set these people up and have them killed. You should read more, Hireling. It would do your soul good, maybe.
We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. They know what's going to come to pass. They know it, and they prepare in advance to prevent it. So to prevent what they know will happen in a short little while, they prepared in advance to prevent it. When I went to buy stall to cover the window, because my cousin wanted to have privacy, and I went to buy those stores to cover her window. Already my enemy was there in her apartment, installing his own curtain to prevent me to bring my stores to cover the window. And it was so huge that my cousin almost believed me, and she said he was in a hurry and he put them upside down. I know if you're still listening, Marianne, you remember this. So this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It represents also a star of 8 points. So my cousin remember it. I know she remembers it. Danny Lavoie was putting curtains over her window right before I was coming in with my own stores to give her a little bit of privacy. And she told me that he put the curtains upside down and he was in a hurry, and she almost believed me. I know she remembers it. So he was preventing by doing just a little bit in advance, as they knew that I was doing what I was doing, and it goes the same with this. And this is the explanation.
Wait a second. That was your answer to this? That was your answer to my book that King James wrote on demonology? Was that Danny Lavoie bought some curtains and put 'em up upside down? You remember, Marianne? You remember, don't you? This proves everything about King James writing that. I don't understand you, Hireling. You just drift off into another subject and say that it matches the explanation for whatever. So hanging curtains upside down now's what happened to King James's demonology book, apparently. It's all confusion with you. Nothing but babble. Babble, babble, babble. It had nothing to do with demonology, but yet you drift right into your cousin again. That's something a narcissist would do. Bringing it right back to you. Bringing the story right back to you. Bringing everything right back to the person that it concerns the most. You. AV onlyism that you promote. So why didn't you ever tell anybody about the demonology book that King James released twice prior to the Bible?
Here, okay? Change of plan. Why don't you go back to Brian Denlinger, since you showed it not too long ago? He's explaining it in his video, the thing about the different dates and how they came up. The Catholic came up with Bible to try to prevent.
Old Brian Denlinger, he's the one you sent me to the first time for KJV onlyism. How I should be KJV only. You can see how that turned out.
Is it still available?
Mr. Brian and I, we don't see eye to eye on a few things. He's a very arrogant person. If anybody's ever watched him, you'll know that he's a very arrogant person. One reason why I won't go back to him again is because he skips over Daniel 9:25 when comparing. I'm not going to put up with that. He says there are no indifferences at all, but I point out indifferences. I show it. And you still send me back to the same person that says there are no indifferences at all. I don't know what you're looking for, Hireling. It didn't work the first time.
Brian Denlinger had explained this fully, the thing about the different dates and the different manuscript and language and all of that.
And one more reason why I particularly don't care for that Brian Denlinger fella is he was given a edition, the original photocopy edition. His is the one that was given to him was a lot more fancy, and he showed it off. He showed it off all right. It weighed like 30 pounds. But it was bigger than this one I have, but it's still the same thing. It's still the same facsimile of the 1611 original King James Bible.
Pretty interesting gift. Can definitely be used for weightlifting. It's just an incredible thing. I never ever thought I'd get something so nice, but I'll show it to you here on camera. I'm probably going to be doing more stuff with this in the future, but here it is. Okay, we have a 400th anniversary edition, original reproduction of the 1611 King James Bible. How it would have been printed in 1611. See if I can get this thing out of here. It's pretty heavy. Extremely high quality. Just a really, really amazing Bible. Definitely the biggest one in my collection now. I have a number of older Bibles, but this one is the biggest. And here we have the embossed front there. I don't know if you can see that too good. You can kind of see it there a little bit.
Wait, hold up there, Hireling. What is that? Is that a symbol on his original KJV 1611? What are you going to say about that? I hope you're going to contact old Brian there, tell him he's got this demon Bible. Demon possessed, demon written, all of it. See that symbol? You got to get to the bottom of it, Hireling, and quick.
When there's the symbol over the Bible, Jesus works with no symbol at all. It's Catholic that working with symbols. Even the cross symbol. Every symbol are from the Catholic. Jesus works with no symbol at all.
There, perhaps. But you go into the thing, and it's got it's got the original look of the 1611, the Gothic font rather than the Roman font that we.
Yep, standing there, proud as a peacock with his new 1611 original, touting how great it is. But yet he won't compare it to his 1611. Nope. At least not Daniel 9:25. Don't want to find out that there's 3 different time periods instead of the 2 that he's been preaching. Put it in its box, Brian. Tuck it away. Pull it out again some other rainy day when you want to show something off. Hey, you should look it up online, Hireling. Get a closer look at this image online. Tell me if there's anything you see in there, since you're good, so good at looking at these images right away and seeing what you want to see. Take a peeky into this picture. Right there, right up at the cover of 1611. But the thing is, he won't open that book, and I'm not going to reopen it either, to Daniel 9:25. Everything is right in front of him. He's holding on to that book, but he will only show his 1611. Why won't he compare them? See, that's what makes me angry, Hireling. He talks all this good talk, but when it comes down to actually comparing the two, he doesn't do diddly squat. Then he turns his comments off. What am I supposed to do with that? Where does your Bible fit into the mix in all this? Where does your KJV, the one that Jesus kind of approves of sometimes? Tell me. I forgot something else, Hireling. You see this Bible on the right? That looks like it has no cover, right? Nothing, no symbol, not like your evil KJV over here that God and Jesus don't approve of. I wonder if I were to show you this Bible right here. Let's take a peek. What does it say in Daniel? It has your saying in it. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. Yeah, they don't, look at that, after weeks, they don't even put a comma in there like most of them do. They just go straight in and say there will be 7 weeks and 62 weeks, which means there'll be 69 weeks, which isn't how you add. But anyways, the streets shall be built again, and the wall even in troublesome times. See, that gets me right back to 26. And after the 62 weeks, it doesn't say, and after the 62 weeks and 7 weeks. It just says, and after the 62 weeks. What happened after the 7th week, Hireling? He won't answer me. And after the 62 weeks, the Messiah shall be cut off, but not for himself. But anyways, this is the verse that you love, even though you can't explain it and don't understand it. It's kind of like Mike Guyver bumbling his way through it on one of his live show. What's this? I want to go to Revelation 9:4. And you say that all those evil Bibles, they changed Revelation 9:4 to say any green plant. Now it says, oh, what did you say? Oh, you said all those evil demon spirit written Bibles, they're changing Revelation 9:4, and they're taking out the word thing, green thing, and saying it's a green plant, because basically they're talking about vegetation, Hireling. But let me show you this one. 9:4. They were commanded not to harm the grass of the earth, or any green thing, or any tree, but only those men who do not have the seal of God on their foreheads. So they were commanded, even though those angels had the power to go out there and, destroy all the green vegetation, they were commanded not to. So this, it should prove it. Daniel 9:25 agrees with you. This right here, 9:4, it totally agrees with you. This says green reptilian right there. So you'd be pretty happy with this. And you know something else really special? Look at this. Nothing. This is a true, authentic Bible, right? True, authentic King James Bible. At least according to Hireling, because Jesus don't need a symbol. But what do we have? Spirit-filled Life Bible. New King James Version. Oh, look at that. Look at that little special Celtic symbol you say is on the New King James Version. But your Bible that I just designated to be yours, what in the world is all this stuff? What in the world, Hireling? Are you going to include any of this in your next video? Are you just going to come out with saying, oh, look at the spattered paint from years ago somebody put on there? Because Jesus knew that Gene Revel was going to be telling, Hireling about all of this. I don't believe you. This is your Bible, Hireling. Has your name in it. What are you going to do? Are you going to claim it or not?